Hey guys, it's Amy and Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for November 11th, 2018. So, I did quite a bit of reading this week considering I'm in the middle of NaNoWriMo. I am on track for NaNoWriMo at this moment. I technically I don't have to write today if I wasn't going to because I was a day ahead, but I will write today, so I'm still going to be a day ahead going into the week, because during the week it's harder to write 1,667 words every day. So again, I will still try and keep ahead because Thanksgiving holiday is coming and I never get to write around the actual holiday or on the holiday usually because my family sees the computer and freaks out. Anyway, we'll go to that. So anyway, I actually did a lot of reading considering this week felt like I didn't, but when I look at my numbers and how many books I got through, I think I did pretty well. And I think it's because I'm really listening to audiobooks for Nonfiction November. Again, as I said, nonfiction for me just flows so much better as an audiobook most of the time, but I do like to read it too. So I have physical books and I have audiobooks, but it just seems to be going well that way. So at least that's good. So I got a lot of books here, so let me go through them because I think I don't know how many I finished here. I think I finished 4 books, and then I'm in the middle of 3 things, and then I'll say a couple things that I think are going to be the next things I pick up. So I finished Archangel's Prophecy by Nalini Singh on, I think I finished this Sunday night. And again, this was one of my highly anticipated reads this year. Because we only get one of them a year. And I know I've seen, this is book 11 in the Guild Hunters Paranormal Romance series. And again, I love this one has angels, archangels, and vampires in this world. And it's really, it's really a fascinating look at the world. You know, it's kind of different and I like it. This book, I have seen some reviews where people are disappointed because of how things go in here, but I think for the story, overarching story, you know, from the beginning to now, it's obviously a necessary book, and I know in the future it's going to be a book I'll reread because of what happens in here. I mean, I'll definitely be rereading this anyway because I just love Nalini Singh, of course. And this focuses on the main couple that started the series. So a lot of things happen in this. I never quite knew what was going to happen, so I'm still not sure what's going to happen because the way it was the first real cliffhanger ending since the first book. Because the first book kind of ended like that, and but it wasn't bad because at the time there was two books out past that, so I didn't, because I came to that series just a couple books in, and so it wasn't so bad because I could pick up the next one right away. But this one I have to wait a year. So anyway, I really enjoyed that. Anyway, even though it's not ever going to be like my favorite book of the series, I think it's going to be a great bridge book. I think there's something going to happen in the next couple books that this is obvious, this has to happen, and I'm so curious to see how she handles it. Again, I said I totally trust her arcs for full storylines, and I'm waiting to see what happens. So anyway, of course I gush about that. I love that book. Anyway, so I'm so excited that I got to read that. So after I finished that, well, okay, not after I finish that. I'll get to what I physically picked up after that in a second, because again, it took me quite a while to get through that book. But I've had the audiobook, The Professor and the Madman, A Tale of Murder, Insanity, and the Making of the Oxford English Dictionary by Simon Winchester. I had this as an audiobook in my car starting on the 1st. Or did I start? I don't know if no, I started it on the 1st. So on November 1st, I started my Nonfiction November with this. I was already reading a book at that time. Yes. So I'm getting confused now. I don't know why. Well, no, wait. Yeah, because I think I finished Archangel's Prophecy later. I don't know what date. Anyway, I am losing my mind. Never forget about dates. I don't remember. I should have looked that up, and I'm so bad about when I finish things. I just know I finished all this stuff. So this was really a fascinating audiobook, and it was read by Simon Winchester, which I didn't know. I mean, again, I've read a couple of books that are read by the authors, like historical, and most of them I've not enjoyed, but I have to say I had 2 back-to-back that I thoroughly enjoyed their narration. So maybe I won't be so hesitant. I had one, I think 1776 by David McCullen, or however it says his last name. Awesome book, but his narration was horrible to listen to me. It was like or just drone. It was hard, but I really enjoyed the book, which still kind of weird. Anyway, but that was a long time ago I listened to that one. But this one was really good. So this has to do with the professor who was in charge of the Oxford English Dictionary project for many years, decades actually, and one of the chief people who turned in dictionary entries was a guy who was locked up because he had killed someone and was criminally insane. And it was just a fascinating look at that. It was also kind of a talk about mental illness and you know how much they didn't know back in, this is like the late 1800s. You know, into the 1900s. So it was, I really enjoyed it. It was a pretty fast audiobook. I'm so glad I finally picked it up. I just said, I've been hearing about this on abookolive for a long time, and I finally, I bought it, it was on sale one day last year, and I just meant to listen to it then, and I didn't get to it, and then I just kept putting it off, and I really wish I hadn't. It was so good. I have at least one more Simon Winchester. I have a physical book of his, but I want to pick up a couple of his other ones that I'm definitely interested in, but I didn't want to buy anymore until I at least got through one of them. So I did that. So just as an FYI, a lot of times if I have an audiobook and I don't have a physical copy of my own, I go get it from the library because I like to look at stuff in here just in case there's anything. But this one had pictures and stuff, so there I got to scan through that. But you know, I just do that. I don't know, there's something about, I'm still definitely more of a physical reader, but when it comes to nonfiction and audiobooks, that seems to happen. But I like to have the book as well. I also got the Shop Cats in New York. This is so cute. Okay, so I just was at the library picking up that book and a couple others that I picked up that are for audiobooks this month, and it was just, I saw Shop Cats of New York, and I remember seeing this on like Facebook when it came out or something. I don't know, but like it has pretty kitties, and then talks about the shops that they're in New York, and it was so niche kind of thing, like little kitties, you know. So it was really cute. It was just a cute book, and it didn't take long. You know, it took I just read it a little bit in 2 nights, and it was done. So it wasn't a huge reading commitment, but it was just so much fun. It was just so cute, and they had their own little stories about how they got the cats, which was the fun part, I think, for me, was hearing how they acquired that cat for that shop. And some of them, you know, went and got them rescued, and some of them, like, they rescued them from somewhere, or somebody gave them the cat, or just kind of, they inherited the cat when they got the building, or, you know, their shop. It was just cute. As I said, it was just a cute, fun thing, and I picked it up at the library, just happened to be there, and I took it. And it's Nonfiction November. I can read whatever. But anyway. So then the audiobook I started after The Professor and the Madman was The Soul of an Octopus, a surprising exploration of wonder and the wonder of consciousness by Cy Montgomery. And I loved this book. And again, I think I actually got lucky that I had bought the audiobook on when it was on sale one day. And I would totally recommend the audiobook for this one as well. She narrates the book, and you can just hear the joy in her voice as she talks about the octopus. It was just fascinating. I didn't know really what I was getting into. As I said, it was one of those books I heard about a lot. I have another octopus book that I want to get to at some point, but I really enjoyed this book. The audiobook was just fantastic, and I'm so glad I have it, that I could listen to it again. And I probably will keep the physical copy too. It was just fun to learn about the different octopuses that she got to know that were at the New England Aquarium in Boston. And so, and I'm so sad that I didn't know about this aquarium and all this stuff before, when I went to Boston earlier this year, but oh well. Would have been kind of cool to go see the octopuses, but we can see them. We have a couple down at our Oregon Coast Aquarium, I believe, and as well the Hatfield Marine Science Center, which is right around the corner, I've been looking at those octopuses since I was a kid, that they always get in there. So anyway, I've always liked octopuses. Like I like that this gave me more information, and yet it wasn't really like technical science fiction or science jargon and stuff. There was a lot of that in, you know, in other books I've read of other things, but it just wasn't, it was much more of a joy of learning about octopuses and and talking about them. I just found it as I said, just a joy. I really enjoyed that, and I'm glad I read that. So so then I'm kind of in the middle of 3 things. So those are all the books I finished. So I'll just stick with the audiobook thing here that I'm going. I'm in the middle of When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. And this is just, I mean, it's just getting heartbreaking in the middle there, about a neurosurgeon who develops lung cancer, and it's like pretty severe pretty quickly. So he writes really well. As I said, I mean, again, he was about the experience, and again, he just, it's very I don't want to say cerebral, but, you know, like there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have thought was in this book. It's been very fun, or not fun. That's not what I meant. That is not the word I wanted. It's been very enlightening on the life of somebody who goes into medicine and how and all his training and stuff. So, I mean, again, it wasn't like play by play, but it meant just there's some aspects that I just you don't think about. I mean, you go to your doctor all the time, but you don't think of all the stuff that they probably had to go through before they got to that point. It was interesting. So I definitely am I'm just over halfway now. So I'm figuring I'm going to finish that in a couple of days, probably Monday or Tuesday, because it's a really quick audiobook. It was only just under 6 hours. So between my commute and stuff, I'll get it done because I'm halfway done. The physical book I've been trying to read most this week since I finished Archangel's Prophecy, but I've been kind of picking it up here and there. And I think it's because I was enjoying The Soul of an Octopus so much that it was hard to read 2 nature books at the same time. So I'm trying not to do that again. Because I should know that, because I don't usually like to read 2 books that are even similar, close like that. So I don't know. Anyway, so H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. I had started before Nonfiction November and then put it down when I got Archangel's Prophecy. And then I picked it up afterwards to try to finish it out. So I'm almost done with this. I have like, I think 30 pages. Yeah, 40 pages. I have 40 pages left of this. I was hoping to finish it last night, but yeah, that didn't happen. Anyway, so I just watched too much BookTube, I think, last night. Anyway, or, you know, it just happened. Anyway, so this is the story of Helen and her dealing with the grief of the loss of her father, and she decides to get a goshawk, and it's her story talking about how she raises it and her, you know, her issues with the loss of her father, and her whole life is, you know, she kind of goes off to do her own thing. It is, I mean, I think it's a really good book. I just think that maybe I shouldn't have read it at the same time because Soul of an Octopus is just so joyful, even though that there is death of some of the animals in there, like you just, that's nature kind of thing. And then this is, again, I don't know, okay, so I shouldn't have done them both at the same time. I still am enjoying this. I'm looking forward to seeing how it wraps up. It is really weird, again, the side plot that's in here that I did not expect, which is about T.H. White. Is it T.H. White? God, my brain just shut down. And the one who wrote The Once and Future King. And I was fascinated that that's in here, because I didn't know anything about him, as I said, when I started that. And it's just, I was not expecting that at all. The other one I'm in the middle of is a graphic novel, is The Complete Moss. So I got the whole bind up at my library. And I just passed into book 2. So this is when they're in the arts, parents are at the concentration camp. So again, this is about the Jewish experience during, I think in Poland. I believe, my brain just shut down, but I think so. And what happened to his parents, because he was born after the war. So it's very interesting. It is, I don't always like the parts about him and his father in the later when his, just because that's kind of sad in a lot of ways because of their relationship. But I also see that that's kind of important to the whole story. So I'm hoping to get this done sometime this week. I just thought I've seen this for the last couple of years, people talking about this, and I think it's really well done. I mean, there's a few things that I'm not, as I said, I'm not super keen on, but I like it overall, so I want to finish that up sometime this week. So then I just want to say the 2 books that I think I'm going to read next. Again, they're both nonfiction. In my car, I'm probably going to put Cosmos by Carl Sagan. I need something a little lighter. I've been reading a lot of stuff about animals and death and stuff. So I decided to pick up the Cosmos. So it's so grand and there's nothing I can do about it kind of thing. So I think this is going to be a good read. I think, or, you know, as I said, I tried to read Contact many years ago, and I didn't get through all the way through it before the movie came out. And when the movie came out, then I just watched the movie, and, you know, that was a fail for me. And then, so I've always wanted to read Cosmos. It's one of those ones I put off, and never bought a copy. So I got a copy from the library, and I had gotten an ebook. No, not an ebook. I got an audiobook on one of their sales this summer, so I picked that up. So I'm excited to listen to that. And then the next physical book I'll pick up is The Last Castle by Denise Heron, which is about the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina. So I went and visited there 2 years ago. So I've been wanting to read this book since I heard about it, and I am going to dive into that this week. So those are all the books that I read, that I'm in the middle of, and that I'm probably going to go to. I know this is kind of long, sorry about that, guys, but I actually did a lot of reading, and I'm so happy with a lot of the stuff I read. Even the stuff that's been a little sad here and there, it's still been good. And again, I love Nonfiction November. Again, this is my 2nd year participating, but it goes so well with when I'm writing. And of course, unfortunately, there's a theme of death in my writing right now, so a lot of this stuff has been kind of helpful for that too, but it's just it's been, I know, a hard time for me in the last couple weeks, so to kind of dive into some of this stuff has been really fun and fascinating, and it's kind of pulled me out of kind of a funk, so I'm hoping that's good for me. Anyway, so what are you guys reading? Are you guys doing Nonfiction November? Have you read any of these books? Are you interested in reading any of these books now? I am just having so much fun with the reading, at least right now. And I have so many books that I've picked up from the library. Bad Amy. And then I have so many books still on my shelf that I want to pick up this month. And we are already on the 11th. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.